IGN Live at E3 2013. Now, we've seen some amazing games, but only one can be crowned as the People's Choice winner. So you can cast your vote at go.ign.com/E3 People's Choice, and we'll tell you the winner on Thursday. But moving along, The Evil Within is a brand new game from the creator of Resident Evil. We first told you about it back in April, so let's see how it's looking.
Thank you, Naomi. I'm joined now by Pete Hines from Bethesda. Going to show us a little bit more of The Evil Within.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see this because you guys just announced this fairly recently.
Yep.
And we can tell it looks cool, it's moody, it's bloody, it's terrifying, but I don't really know what the game is all about. So I know you're going to show us some footage here. Can you give us any setup before we dive into it?
So The Evil Within is a pure survival horror game. It's led by Shinji Mikami, who is the father of survival horror. Basically, started the genre back with Resident Evil.
Sure.
And it's his desire to take survival horror back to kind of where he would like to see it, which is not quite so action heavy, more balanced, where it's about managing your resources, feeling kind of vulnerable and like you might die at any given moment. It's not about plowing through a bunch of enemies, but trying to scare you and keep you off balance and make you use your wits to get through different areas. It's a dynamic game where you get to sort of approach situations and figure out, well, am I going to fight here? Do I run away? Am I going to use traps? Kind of, ebbing and flowing all throughout the game. So
that sounds awesome to me. I'm a fan of those old school survival horror games. So
yeah, absolutely.
Going back to it sounds great. Let's jump into the demo here.
Okay. So what you're going to see is footage from early part of the game. So the game, you play a detective named Sebastian, who's called out to an incident at an asylum. He gets out there with his colleagues. Something happens. He gets knocked out, and he basically wakes up here where he is in a pretty bad predicament.
Sure.
The story is really one we're not going to be talking a whole lot about. So it's something that you kind of unravel and discover as you go through the game. But it's obviously all about horror. You can see you face this really spooky-looking guy hanging here with all these bodies, and off to the left, something horrible and unimaginable is being done to this to one of the bodies off to your left. As you can see, this is actually the way the game is presented. So it's a very HUD light game. We don't have a lot of stuff up on the screen. It's also presented in this different CinemaScope aspect ratio. So it's 2.35 by 1 as opposed to the standard 16 by 9. Gives it a kind of interesting feel when you're playing the game, and allows us to do some things creatively. But the whole idea is to make you feel really immersed in the game. So here, the character's being prompted. I need to swing back and forth here to try and reach the knife that's stuck in the side of one of the bodies here. So I'm going to swing back and forth until Sebastian can grab it and try and use that to free myself. This is all running on a very heavily modified version of Intech 5 that Tango put together. So it's an engine that they felt gave them a lot of flexibility, but they obviously had to do some things because the game is played in a third-person perspective, as you'll see here. But they're able to add a lot of effects with light and shadow, and really detailed words.
We don't have audio here on stage, so let me know if I'm missing any important audio cues or dialogue.
The big thing here is that it's not just about straight action and running around. You can see Sebastian going into stealth mode there to try and move through without being detected. He gets to the door here and finds it's locked, so now you have to find the key. And as you move back here to where this guy is hacking apart this body, you'll notice that there's a glint on a hook over there, so Sebastian has to figure out how to get to the key. It is a game that is very dynamic, so the AI is going to move through the world in unpredictable ways. It's not gonna, if you move through here and die, it's not going to play out exactly the same way each time in terms of how the characters move. Again, you'll notice sort of the UI stuff comes up and then goes away. Again, wanting to create a really immersive experience. Now I've got the key, I'm going to go move to unlock this door. But everything from the pace at which Sebastian moves through the world, you notice even how he opens doors and kind of how that feels to the player, that it opens slowly and you're almost craning your neck to look around and see what's on the other side of the door as he's opening it.
I mean, I can already feel that tension of trying not to make a noise, not trying to
and it's one of those things like, you don't really know, like, what's the point at which I can move through here quickly and not have to worry about it versus, really having to move slowly so that I'm not making too much noise, attracting the attention of enemies. Doors you open slowly, but you can also kick them open. But if you kick open the wrong door and create noise when there's enemies around, then you're in trouble. Here, Sebastian has walked through and didn't notice a trap that was there. Now he triggered the trap, and now you got a big chainsaw guy chasing after you. One of the big themes of the game is the use of traps. Traps both that your enemies are using against you, as well as traps that you can use and try and solve combat situations where maybe you've only got 3 bullets and there's 8 bad guys to deal with, but you can lure them into an area where you can set in a trap, a couple of explosives, and try and take out a large number of them. You can shoot enemies in the leg and wound them and have them fall down, and then rather than using a bullet to finish them off, you have matches, and you can use your matches to run up and light them on fire. Except you never know when an enemy has been downed and he's actually dead, or if he's laying there faking it and waiting for you to come light him on fire so he can jump up and get you. So again, we never want it to be predictable. Sometimes a headshot will kill a guy, sometimes you'll see him sort of shake it off and keep coming at you. That unpredictability sort of never makes you feel entirely comfortable that you're in control of the situation, which is part of where that tension comes from.
That was at the end of our demo?
Yeah, I believe
that's not enough.
Yeah,
I need more.
You know, it's coming out next year. We
All
obviously got a lot to show between now and then, but you start to get an idea for what Shinji is going for.
Sure.
You know, giving you sections of the game where you have no weapons, sections where you've got limited resources, and really mixing the two to make a kind of a tense game that mixes the action and adventure and exploring.
Well, you have my intention. Definitely keep me informed on its progress.
Absolutely.
That's The Evil Within. Back to Naomi.
Thanks, Damon. That game looked very intense, but how did it look to you? Tweet at IGN with the hashtag E32013. We're really curious what you're thinking. It's true. And speaking of thinking, Naomi Way, it's now time to show Quantum Break. And yeah, that terrible joke was for you Up at Noon fans out there. Quantum Break, up next.